Hey people, happy Friday. Today I want to talk about illustrations because I said that I wanted to shoot videos on my publishing journey into publishing one of my children's books, so people who hadn't been in the publishing process before kind of could keep up with what sort of things to expect and what happens. So today I've just got my storyboards back for my illustrations and I've been looking through them now and they're really cute. I've got them here. Just to chat generally about illustrations today and what is involved in the illustration process if you're getting any kind of illustration for your book, particularly if you're getting a children's picture book, because then the illustration process is such a huge part and it takes a long time and it's expensive and there's a lot to work on it. So today, let's have a look at what's involved in the illustration process. Once you've found an illustrator that you really want to work with and you've both agreed to work on the project, I'd say the first main thing to work on is getting your characters nailed down. So particularly the main characters, those who feature in the whole book multiple times. So for example, in mine, it's a really small cast. There's 3 characters that appear in it throughout the book, one that's like in one scene. So we designed the 3 main characters first, and that was a backwards and forwards between me and the illustrator, making sure that I gave her very clear ideas of what I wanted the characters to look like, and then she came back with her ideas and a few tweaks and designs on what she would recommend, obviously giving it to her like artistic style too, especially as that's the whole point of working together with an illustrator, is that you've got these 2 people working together to make it even more awesome. And it's such a special moment when you get their character designs back and you can look through it, see what you think, maybe tweak a few things. For us, we tweaked the face shape a bit and the eye shape, the hair of one of the characters, and we actually liked 2 outfits for one of the characters, or 2 parts of the outfits from one of the characters. We ended up combining them together and it worked really well. So first things first is character design. Make sure you've got that main character design that's going to be throughout the book, because then it's going to be so much easier going forward. You know what they look like, the illustrator knows what they look like, and the illustrator can just put them in the scenes and tweak things as they go if it needs to be tweaked. And there's usually a backwards and forwards, so a few rounds of amendments where you're just tweaking everything and getting it in there, and make sure you have really clear, honest dialogue between you to make this happen. And try and stay friendly, of course. You know, if you've got tweaks you want to make, then try to be as friendly as you can about it. Like, hey, I really love this thing, do you mind if we just tweak this? Obviously, an illustrator puts so much effort into even just character designs, so be kind to them. Then once you've got the character designs locked down, you go into storyboarding, which I actually have here. See if I can quickly show you what this might look like. So for example, here we've got just like the rough shading of what different scenes could look like, and in some cases the illustrator's given me 2 options, one that we put in our brief and one that's different. I should remember that we put the brief in to the illustrator with like the text of the story that's going in that image and a brief of what we want the image to look like, so they can easily read what's happening. So for example, if I've said, oh, put this in the center, she knows, okay, that's going in the center, it's from an upper angle, it's from a lower angle. She's then given me a rough storyboard of what that could look like, and in some cases even given me an alternative, like, hey, actually we've got a couple of scenes that look similar to this, so I suggest this slight difference. And it's really cool to see her interpretations of how the story worked too. So again, just like the character design where you had some input to it and could make a few amendments, you should have the opportunity to do this in every stage going forward, you know, making that dialogue between you and the illustrator, making sure you've got everything you need. And we'll be doing that with the storyboarding next. So I've done the character design, got the storyboarding now to look at, which is awesome, really excited to have that. And that's my homework for this weekend, making sure that I let them know which storyboard I'm happy with straight away. There's a few of those I'm just immediately saying yes to. Some of them are those that she suggested that are different to the ones I actually asked for, and I think she's the pro, she knows what she's doing. I'm going to trust her that if she says actually this perspective would work even better, I'm going to trust she knows that, and actually it does look really good. So some of those I've said yes to as well, and others I've just asked for a few little tweaks too. So again, making sure both parties feel comfortable and happy that their voices are being heard and you're working together towards creating really awesome illustrations, because they are looking awesome. I can't wait to share them all with you when the book's finished. And then after storyboarding, once you've got all that locked down, you then go into the full proper illustrations for each page and getting those storyboards turned into big sketches where the detail goes into a sketch mode. And again, they'll send you the sketches like image per image, saying, hey, here's all the illustrations per the storyboard we agreed on in sketch form. So still not looking at colour, not looking at massive detail. Are you happy with the sketches? And again, a nice backwards and forwards between you and the illustrator, and even your publisher if your publisher's involved, to get it looking in a stage that you're all happy with, making a few tweaks, getting it perfect. And then after that, you'll do the same with the full colour. The illustrator will then go and like put their heart, soul and magic into creating really beautiful, colourful illustrations for you, and they'll come back with that and give you the opportunity to maybe tweak things. For example, oh, I like that blue, but that purple, can that purple be a bit darker? And don't go too crazy with the colour changes, because hopefully you should have given them all that information in your illustration brief. And I'll do a separate video probably about an illustration brief, because it's actually quite a big process to make sure you've got everything you need for your illustrations into one place, and as much detail, how you can think about the images you need for your book, how to put together an illustration brief. It's a big process, but basically you tell them everything. Viewpoint, characters, where they're standing, how they're standing, what perspective it's from, what colour it is it daytime, nighttime, what kind of lighting is it? So much detail. So hopefully by that point, if you've done your character brief, your character design stage, your storyboarding stage, your sketching stage, then by the time you get to the colour stage, you shouldn't be tweaking the sketching and the layout and the design. It should just be looking at tweaking the colours. And then you have a whole illustration process finished. It's a bit of a long process, and if you and the illustrator work really well together, clearly discussing and the amendments that you want to make, it should be a really fun one. Like, there's nothing like being told your illustrations are ready for you to look at. Like, when I had my character designs waiting for me in the morning, it was so exciting, and now to be able to look through the storyboards is wonderful. If you have any questions on how to work with an illustrator, just let me know. I'd be happy to answer them if I can, or guide you to a place that may know. I'm going to get back to this.